Hello everybody and welcome to my video. Today I'm going to be talking to you about why I think the term modern is very unhelpful. So, the whole reason why I even thought about this was when I was looking and listening to what people had to say about this whole Meghan and Harry interview on Oprah. By the way, just bear with me. Sometimes words leaving my mouth, not the greatest thing. I'm a creative, okay? Talking is not my forte, but here I am. Anyway, when this whole Harry Meghan Oprah interview came out, a lot of people who were in support of it kept saying, oh, well, now we're more modernized. It's nice to see the royal family is more modernized. And that made me feel quite uncomfortable, I'll be honest. Because why is it that when a black person is now in the royal family, and let's just start there, because this is not even the first time that has happened, but anyway, we'll just start from there. Why is it now that we're now considering this as modernized? So what would be traditional? Traditional would be to cut out black people, but why? Just because it's the color of their skin. And now that made me think a lot about this whole term modern. And the fact that I don't like it, because it's like people see anything that's new school, anything that's recent, that people previously didn't accept, whether they should or shouldn't have accepted it now, is now considered modern. And if you don't think that way, you're not modern. And people say the same thing about God. They say, oh, well, God, I think God would be modernized. I've heard people say that to me as well. But what does that actually mean? Because as far as I'm concerned, black people should have always been acknowledged as people that should be allowed to be in the royal family. And why do I say that? Well, I'll tell you why. For one reason, the Queen herself isn't actually English. And secondly, comes from black lineage. Number two, with all this George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, blah-de-blah that everybody seems to be supporting, and I say blah-de-blah because I know what I believe in it, and I know what I want to do, but to me, I'm not sure if people really understand what they say they're supporting. Why is that considered modernizing? Because that should have just been fine, because the whole purpose of Black Lives Matter is to say, us as black people should have just always been seen as people. It's not about saying... And by the way, I'm not a fan of Black Lives Matter, like the organization. I don't mess with that. But what I do mess with is the idea that black people are and should have always been considered normal person. That's what I'm saying. Normal person. If you go into a job, you're just as likely to get the job. As long as you have the same credentials, qualifications, experiences, you're just as likely to get the job, whether your name is Sarah, whether your name is Nyasha, whether your name is Funke, whether your name is Oluwatumbe, whatever your name is, whatever your race is, if you meet the requirements, you should be offered. That's my version of why I think Black Lives Matter and all these things matter. But it's like now, accepting these things, and the fact that even being black, which by the way, not to be controversial, yeah, but we need to start separating these race and these homosexuality, LGBTQ plus issues. We need to separate them, because you see something. When I was born, this was my skin colour. Well, actually I was a bit lighter when I was officially born. This has always been my skin colour. There is nothing I can say or do that will ever make anybody see my skin colour anything different from this. If you are somebody from the LGBTQ plus community, you do have a choice, in the sense that people can choose. You can choose when you want to pull that card and when you don't want to, when you want to be seen in that community and when you don't want to. Me as a black person, I am always black. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, I am black. The only way I'm not black is if I literally make myself not look black. And I bet you now, even if I was to cover my face and my whole everything in a white foundation or whatever, you would still see that I was black. I remember even when I was in school, I remember we had to bring in, I think it was in year 3, we had to bring in baby pictures and people had to guess who we were, and people guessed me like this. And I didn't think they would guess me, because when I was officially born, like a lot of babies, you can't necessarily tell exactly what skin colour they are. They just have that very light tone. But even still, even at that point, it was clear that I was black. So anyway, this whole idea of modernizing, yeah, when it comes to race, that is not a thing. Because black people have always been black and have always been people. Do you see what I'm saying? White people have always been white and have always been people. Why is it considered modernized that now we accept Meghan Markle? And the thing about Meghan Markle that baffles me the actual most is she is one of the lightest black people out there. She's not even technically fully black. And I mean, I don't see it like that. Like, for me, if you've got any black descent, you know what? You're in the black community. Hello? Because I think that's the only way we can look at it. Because it's just unhelpful and unhealthy to see it any other way. But she's not even one of the darkest people out there. She's like one of the lightest. Like, if you didn't know that Meghan Markle was black, you may not think she's black. You may just think she's got a nice tan. You know? I've met white people who kind of have a tone like Meghan Markle, where like you would think they're from somewhere else, and they say, everybody tells me that they think I'm like, you know, from somewhere else, but I'm actually just English, 100%. And then again, that's not true anyway. But anyway, as in, we all started in Africa. Hello. Thank you. But anyway, so this whole concept and term of modernized, I don't like. Because it suggests that we've had to evolve from something before we had something that was okay. No, it was not okay previously. First of all, like I said, the Queen comes from a black lineage. Secondly, black people are just people. Why is it considered modernized? And I feel like modernized is almost now the term where it's like, it's not even a respectable thing. It's not respectable to consider that fact that the royal family have accepted or should accept Meghan Markle is modernized. It's not a good thing, because now modernized is just whatever anybody wants it to be. If you want to say, I love a car and I have a genuine interaction and attraction to a car, that would be considered modernized. Somebody will come up with a term for it. Carophilia. Modernized. If you want to be, I mean, we've got this new thing of those 3 dads that came out, where there's 3 dads and who have adopted 2 daughters. Modernized. Modernized. And like, it is not everything. You can't use the term modernized just to class everything that wasn't acceptable for whatever reason previously. Because first of all, some things should have never been accepted. And that's why I don't like it. Because I don't like the fact that people are comparing Meghan Markle as a black woman being in the royal family is modernized with some of this other nonsense that's going on out there. That is so disrespectful actually to the black community. So that all I have to say really on the subject is just this term modernized, think about how you're using it. Because I'll tell you something, I don't want to be anything to do with modernized, because modernized just seems like, oh, as long as you're putting up with things that before were considered taboo, that's modernized. Whatever that taboo thing was. And just you guys wait until the pedophiles and the rapists, I mean, it's already happening, where pedophilia is being considered like a sexual orientation. That's modernized. So you want to go and group that along with Meghan Markle, who is just a woman, who happens to be a woman of colour, who happened to fall in love with Harry. That's modernized. But then somebody being interested in any kind of interaction with a child, was that modernized? This is why I don't think the term modern is helpful at all. It isn't. Because now modern has become, it's not modern. A lot of these things are just how things already should have been. It should have already been fine for a black woman or whatever woman to be with Harry. If that's who Harry truly loves, if that's who Harry truly wants to be with, that should have been fine. And the reason even more why that should have been fine, even if you want to be one of those, yeah, but we want to keep the royal family from where we started and how it was. Well, the Queen came from a black woman. And she's not even English. So what do you have to say to that? And then the thing is, with using terms like modernized, then other people are just going to run wild with that. And that's why I mentioned the pedophiles, because now they're like, oh, great. Okay, so you guys talking about modernized? Okay, so you guys are talking about anybody can have any kind of attraction to whoever they want, as long as we can come up with the term and we're going to accept that love is love and love is love and love is love. Well, I love children. But now you're uncomfortable that I've said that and I've compared the two things. But in reality, it's the same thing. So all I have to say is just like, when we're talking about modernized, let's just cancel that whole term. If there's anything that needs to be cancelled, I believe in cancel culture. But that just needs to be removed and deleted. Control-Alt-Delete, and then tasks, open task manager, delete. That's what we need to do with all this modernized. Because a lot of things, some things that are considered modernized are things that should just been already, and it's insulting to call them modernized. And some things other things that are modernized are things that we should never have accepted, and we're just accepting now because, well, anything is anything. It's a free-for-all. Like, the world has literally become a free-for-all. But anyway, thank you for watching my video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the term modern or modernized. If you think I'm crazy, if you think I'm going off the ball with it and I'm just like making it into a big thing, or if you understand like why I think it's such a big deal for us to use that term or not to use that term. I hope that I see from you. I hope that I hear from you or see you. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, check out my other videos. And other than that, God bless, take care, and I hope to see you again. Goodbye.